everyone, and welcome back to Celestial Flare. In this video we're going to show you how we made our custom Lucy Gray Baird doll from the Hunger Games, The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes. And here we start by repainting her face. We've already sealed her face with spray sealant. It's the Mr. Super Clear sealant, and we're going to use several layers of it throughout the entire repainting process just to secure all the layers of paint that we're going to add each time. So here I'm using some chalk pastels, some eyeshadows, and of course some colored pencils. I'm using the Prismacolor brand because I think it works best for me, and that's because the tip of the pencils glide very smoothly on the painting surface, and that makes it really easy to work with. And yeah, this is just a personal opinion. So here I'm painting the basic features, the hairline, and also some more specific features like these small moles she has. And we don't forget to add the shadows on your face, blush and everything else. It's like doing makeup, but on a doll. So here I'm drawing her lips. This is always the most satisfying part for me because it's the most colorful one. And the last thing in the repainting process is the liquid sealant, which is placed on her eyes and lips. The liquid sealant always puts everything in its place. It's like magic. I don't know how to describe it. So yeah, so here I've undone her braids and we're ending up with this beautiful result. So the next part is her rainbow skirt. We have already drawn a custom pattern for the skirt, and we're going to use tulle, which has these small white dots on it. This was the closest we could find to the actual skirt, well, the fabric that was used for the actual skirt in the movie. So here we use some paints to paint it down and some washable markers to paint all these shapes that are going to be our guides for parts of the ruffles later. This is the base skirt. It's made of white cotton, and we're going to sew some white lace on the hem. And here we have 8 colors of tulle, which are going to be used here and in this order that you can see here, starting with the burgundy layer. But first we're going to create the ruffles, of course. So this is the first layer, and you can see that it is placed in triangles. So this is where the guide that we drew earlier enters. These are all the layers together, all 8 of them. This was the trickiest part of the process actually, but it's really fun once it's done. Yeah. Moving on to the shirt, we're going to use the same fabrics that we used for the base skirt, the white tulle and the white cotton. For the sleeves we're going to create these nest-like shapes on the end, and to do this we're going to use some white thread and the sewing machine to make 5 lines of thread on the end of each sleeve. And then we're going to pull them all together to create this shape. So the good sides are facing inwards, and we sew everything in place except for the back parts where we're going to attach the Velcro later. For the corset you can see here that we're using some faux leather, but well, this wasn't our final option in the end, just because it didn't sit very well on the doll's body. Here we are using some satin fabric, which is sewn in between the pieces of the corset. So instead of faux leather we ended up using canvas. You can actually see me here painting on canvas, first of all because it had a better fitting on the doll's body, and secondly it is really easy to paint on. And here I'm using acrylic paint. This was actually the scariest part of the whole process. Well, these shapes are no joke. They are actually really hard to get, but one must have patience and be really precise with everything they do. So that's what I'm doing here. I just add some small details one by one, and I think it turned out pretty good. Last but not least, a pair of black boots. And I'm really impressed with how Lucy Gray managed to run in this arena in high heels. I mean, how did she do it? It's quite impressive if you ask me. Anyway, this, everyone, is the final look.